Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome the next person up to receive his life membership. He's one of the most legendary figures in the history of the VFL-AFL competition and one of the game's greatest coaches. His record is staggering. 40 years in the game, 31 as a senior coach, 892 games as a player and coach, the second most in the history of the game. 718 games as a senior coach, the most in the history of the game. I, of course, speak of Mick Malthouse. Winner of the Jock McHale Medal 3 times, coach in no less than 50 finals matches, a winning coach for Australia against Ireland. The list goes on and on. And tonight, he adds another life membership. So profound has his influence been not only on the AFL competition, but at the Richmond Football Club, early on at St Kilda, but certainly at the West Coast Eagles Football Club, and definitely here at the Collingwood Football Club. Let's not forget the year 2000. Collingwood was at its lowest point. Mick became the coach. Bucks was leading the team. We were broke, millions of dollars in debt. Victoria Park was falling apart. The council wanted us out. The training facilities were horrible. We lost a player to Legionnaire's disease. We had the worst playing list probably at the AFL at that stage because we held the wooden spoon. 3 years later, we're on the MCG at the big dance again, and the Pies were back in town. And then another the year after. In the 12 seasons of the Collingwood Football Club, Mick took us to 8 final series, no less than 22 finals matches, 5 of them grand finals. That's not including the 3 NAB Cups as well, and a victory there as well. Mick, we thank you tonight, make you a life member of our football club because you helped make our great club great again and made us into a leader in the competition. Overall, 57% winning ratio at the Pies in 286 games. Teamsmanship was always Mick's mantra. He loved his players, he loved the club, he loved the people in it, and that was returned back to him. In 2010, Mick Malthouse and his players delivered our first premiership in 20 years, an historic 15th pennant for this football club, and he did it beautifully. His career at Collingwood, as I said, 286 games, 163 wins, 22 finals, 5 grand finals. As we call on Mick Malthouse to come forward to receive his life membership of the Collingwood Football Club, let's relive some of the great times of Mick Malthouse leading our team.
Thank you, Ed. It's great to be back. For a football club that many years ago I followed, and I'm reading from this, I don't take notes too often, but I've read these a couple of things. Outside of the fact that I am deeply honoured to receive this, this is something that you don't expect. I think the lads have already said it, and congratulations to John, Chris and Alan. Thoroughly deserved. You don't think about it, but you just feel that you want to be part of the football club. Growing up, I actually played with a bloke called Basil Tuddenham, who was the twin brother of Des. And I know Des is a member, and there's so many people. These players, I used to be these players down my, next to my bedroom or outside, get a plastic footy and I'd become Terry Waters, Teddy Potter. I'd never played in the football in my life, but I loved Peter McKenna. I didn't look like Gabba Jenkin, but he was an all-time favourite. Murray Wiedemann, but one in particular, if there's any players who have played with me, the 2 lads up there have played under me. I used to send out a message that said, particularly when they buggered up a kick, I'd say to them, who do they think they are, Thurl or Merritt? Because we all knew that Thurl was the greatest kick of all time. So I used that one. I used it at Carlton and they scratched their head, but of course at Collingwood we all understood it. Be very remiss if I didn't say that, following on from what John said in regard to vision, 2000, it looked like a horrible year and it looked like a horrible place. But when you've got a vision, you've only got a windscreen. And I've got to say, and people have asked me, why Collingwood, well, outside the fact I used to barrack for them, was because, Ed, you had a wonderful vision, and this is part of it. When you look at this and you look at the success of the football club in the last 17, 18 years, it's a credit to you and your board. I wouldn't be able to have got anywhere near the number of games, and games don't really count unless you make them count, without Nanette, my family, and I'm indebted to her. Indebted to all the people in football, the volunteers, the administrators, the boards that have been very supportive, but I've got to say most of all it's got to be the players, because they're the ones that bleed, they're the ones that break their bones, they're the ones that listen, they're the ones that perhaps at times don't agree with you, but they respect what you say and they go out and try to do their best. Of all the football games, there's probably 2 years in particular that stand out, and one's at a football club, and that was the Bulldogs in 1987. But the year of 2002 proved to me that you don't have to be the best side, you just have to have the best people. And to get where we got that year, I still count that as probably the greatest achievement that I've been part of, and I was only part of it, part of a wonderful group of people at a football club that lost a grand final. But I guess on reflection, that might have been the catalyst for 2010, because you learn from losses and it hurts, but that group of men, they were just absolutely outstanding. And you've got a couple on your coaching panel that were, for all and sundry, just outstanding and delivered on that day. So Ed, to your board and to whoever who is in the selection panel, thank you so very much. I'm humbled by that, but particularly as I look through these names, and I just thank you so very much for the opportunity to coach a side that I grew up loving. Thank you.